video is a lot, being here is a lot. Before I even begin, I really want to take a moment. We can close our eyes if you want to, that's what I'm going to do, to honor Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, to honor Reverend Joy Crutcher and the late Leanna Crutcher, the whole Crutcher family, a family that's driven by agape love. So if you could take a moment with me, settle ourselves in this moment. Thank y'all. Y'all can open your eyes. All right, how y'all feeling? Good. I need a little bit more. I like interaction. How y'all feeling? Good. It's love goes. I'm excited to be here. My name is Jayla Simone Meeks. I'm very, very, very blessed and excited and honored to be here. I serve as the policy fellow for the Terence Crutcher Foundation, as you can see from the video. Yes. Shayla's here. She's from our team. Shayla. All right, so I have to start off first just by saying I'm not from Tulsa. I'm from Detroit, Michigan originally, and so much has brought me to be at this moment today. Growing up, my life, as you saw in that first video, has been a direct result of the things that happen from systemic oppression, systemic racism. So I've experienced domestic violence in my household, houselessness, mental crisis, and mental illness. The list could really go on and on, food insecurity. All the things is everything I've experienced. However, I wouldn't be here today without agape love, without my community, without my parents that showed me love and sacrificed the things that they wanted and needed so that I could be here today. So for that, I'm very grateful, and I honor my parents, I honor my grandparents, I honor my ancestors, that their strength has gotten me here today. So, let me tell y'all a little bit about me. You saw in the video, I started a nonprofit. I gave out resources, and then from there I was like, okay, what can I do to be the change I want to see, and so that it could be long-lasting change? My whole life, my mom always told me, Jayla, if you want to go to school, you're gonna have to get paid for it because we don't have money for that. Like, we're trying to hold on to what we have here. So I was diligent. I ended up getting a full ride scholarship to the University of Tulsa, which was a blessing as a first-generation college student. We talk about faith and the evidence of things not seen. I never seen anybody go with a full ride in my life, but we were in faith, and it happened. So we praise God for that. I get to Tulsa, and it was like a place I've never seen before. Tulsa is nothing like Detroit. I'm sure, I don't know if I've been to Detroit, but they're not the same. And I majored in political science, I majored in business, I minored in musical theater, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to law school so that way I can directly advocate for people that were like me, and I thought I had it all figured out. Everything changed once I got to Tulsa. I started doing a lot of activism on campus, and for a while it was just like writing letters, making sure I organized my students and my community and my peers, and like, it was really cute. It was nice. And then George Floyd happened in 2020, and that shook up everything. All the Q activism, all the letters, all the community events, peer events, it wasn't time for that anymore. So I organized students, we wrote a letter, that letter turned into a video, that video turned into direct activism for our administration to actually stand up for humanity in the ways that like all of our written statements said that they do. So with that, I had over 25 leaders on campus all write a letter signing on to this letter I wrote about the University of Tulsa's commitment to diversity. That showed me, there were 10 action items on that letter. And to date, I graduated in 2022 in May, so just recently I graduated. To date, 8 out of those 10 action items have been done and have been completed. Which is a blessing. I'm sure many of us have been in rooms where people agree to all the things you're saying and then no action is taken. So it was a blessing to see that action has been taken, and the changes that should have been implemented are happening on campus, and students that look like me feel more welcome and feel more included today. It also showed me that there's power in community, there's power in us banding together, and not just all black people banding together or all one group banding together. There's not power, as much power as you could have in just that. So all those organizations that signed on were all very, very different and represented the common thread, which was our heart and our love. I told you I wouldn't be here without love. Those 8 out of 10 items would not have been completed without love and people using their love to engage in power. So, moving forward, College was college. It was a good time. I'm very grateful. Again, I thought, I'm going to go to law school, and I'm going to advocate, and I'm going to be a lawyer, and it's going to be great. And I got 60 different scholarships, as mentioned in that video, to pursue that law degree, which, again, I've never seen anybody get one scholarship from where I'm from to go to get a law degree. So to get 60 is like, okay, God. So I deferred those scholarships for 2 years to be at the Terence Crutcher Foundation. Our foundation is literally not a theoretical framework around what just and liberating communities could look like, free from racial violence and harm, but it's a call and response to what Tulsa needed, what this nation needs. So I feel honored that I was even able to work and to continue to work with this foundation. We work in 3 different pillars to tell y'all more about our agency. I'll kind of map out first who I am, which y'all should know mine a little bit more than you did before, what the Terence Crutcher Foundation does, and then what y'all can do. Okay? So, thank you for that. All right, so first, we work in 3 pillars: policy advocacy, strengthening communities, and then honoring the legacy of our ancestors. So, starting with the very first one, policy. A lot of times policymakers make policies, again, from a theoretical framework of what might work, what they learned in school, great things, what they think their constituents might want. But for us, we walk door to door. We do community walks, which is an event where we walk from door to door in our community, similar to like politicians do, but we're not asking them to vote for anything. We're not even asking them to join our organization, to join in our efforts. We just want to know, what do you need? What do you want? How can we assist? We can provide direct access to resources then with the community relationships that we've developed, because relationships are important. We also use what we hear at the door to develop our policy strategy going forward for the year. So we use what the community says because we know that people closest to our problems, so our neighbors, should be the ones that are developing and helping us to strengthen solutions. That's 1, policy advocacy. 2, strengthening communities. Because the roots of systemic racism are so deep, there's a lot of work that has to be done. Our team is doing a lot of work. We are working with housing, which is how I met Denny. We have a Just Home project, which is a multi-million-dollar funded project with a lot of community partners involved to break the link between incarceration and homelessness in Tulsa. That's big. At the same time, we have 3 youth programs ongoing, all covering different age groups for different reasons. At the same time, we also are making sure we're giving grants to nonprofits that are in size smaller than us, but impact is just as large. I could keep going on and on and on about the list of things that we're doing right now, but all of that to say, before I even go on to our last pillar, our team is 8 people. So we need y'all. Everyone in this room, that's kind of going to go into what can you do. We need y'all to show up because 8 people, we are strong and mighty, but we can only do and reach so many people. So last pillar, strengthening, honoring the legacy of our ancestors. I took a moment to honor Terence Crutcher. I took a moment to honor my family. If we don't remember what's happened in the past, we can't move forward effectively. So for us, we remember not just Terence, but a countless of other people whose lives have been harmed or taken by the hands of racial violence and terror, not just in Tulsa, but in this nation. We're positioned locally, but our impact reaches the nation. That's important. Remembering what happened in 1921 and how that same state-sanctioned violence seeps through what we experience today, realizing that is the only way we'll be able to move forward. And at the same time, realizing the strength of the people that have come before us is the way we can tap into the strength to move forward further. So those are 3 pillars. Those are what we do, what we need y'all to do. I brought one of these contact cards with me. Shade, I don't know if you have any more. But we can pass this around and scan it. We need bodies. What you can do in this work to further this movement. As I said in that video, we're all interconnected and we're all intersected. So first step, educate yourself. Learn what's going on. Learn what policies are happening, who they're impacting. We have a generational vision report on our website. Read that. It'll give you a great look at what is happening in Tulsa in terms of racial violence harm, how that impacts housing, how that impacts economic vitality, how that impacts just inequities across the state. Once you have that education, don't just stop at reading. of course, pray about it, put that in there too. That should be step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ongoing step. And then after that, show up. Show up with your heart open, show up with your mind open, and keep showing up. Don't get tired of showing up. Dr. Crutcher mentioned in that video, and I love everything that she says because I really take it to heart, that she didn't want Terence's name to be just another hashtag. George Floyd in 2020 was outrage across the world. And now people are a little less outraged. Keep showing up. We won't get further if we just stop moving once we get a step closer to what we see, the vision coming to pass. So keep pushing, show up with us. Please connect with me after this, during this. Sign up with us on social media. When we have events, when we bring the community together, we have so many things going on right now that y'all can all get involved in. And if you can't, your spheres of influence can. So keep that in mind. Biggest 3 takeaways: educate yourself, show up, and keep showing up. Thank y'all.